Okay, welcome everybody. We're just saying it feels like ages. It does for me. It feels like ages since I've taught online. I've done a couple in person, but yeah, with this in this space with you guys. So really nice to be back. And yeah, fresh start, 2024. Bring it on. Let's go into it with positive intentions through our yoga practice. Yeah. So we had a request this week for glutes and back. So we're going to be working on the glutes and the back. And I think it's a great class. My glutes are really aching at the moment, so it's a great class for me. But what I thought we could do, Miriam, if there's anything in particular that you'd like that I'm not, that I'm not presenting, then feel free to unmute and weave that in. But what I was thinking is to do a bit of strengthening first and get the heat up in the lower back and the glutes, because often when we have problems in the lower back, it is often because there's a weakness there. So we'll also look at the core, linking to the lower back and strengthening the glutes, and then we'll go into some nice stretches. So should be good for all of us, I think. So let's just start seated, and you can just cross your legs, but even now in cross-legged, we're starting to stretch and open the lower back and glutes. But if it's possible for you, if it's available, so crossing the ankles is fine, and then Sukhasana, but these are meditation postures actually. These are some of the kind of key yoga postures. Sukhasana means easy pose, and that's where you put one shin in front of the other. So it might not be possible for you, just cross the ankles. And then Siddhasana, which is like, I can't remember what it translates as, but it's one of in the ancient texts. This is one of the postures of yoga, is where you put one heel in front of the other. So this is just two Sukhasana, Siddhasana, two classic meditation postures. So if you're not warmed up enough or it's just not available, then just cross your ankles. But just know that all of these three, and lotus, you could do lotus as well. It's like we're building up to lotus. All of these meditation postures are stretching. You can probably feel it stretching on the lower back and the glutes already. So as always, you can sit yourself up on a block, make yourself more easeful. So we're just going to settle into our body, settle into our practice. So kind of welcoming back if this is your first yoga class for a while, and welcoming back this space into your life, this space of self-care, to be with yourself in a positive, nourishing way, to know yourself more deeply. So just opening to the space you've created this evening. Just letting the hands rest wherever's comfortable. But just knowing that we are in a yoga posture already. We're not just sitting. So just check your position of your torso. We want to feel like we're as much as possible on the base of our pelvis, evenly, front and back, side to side. So maybe just taking the chest forward slightly and back slightly until you find the place where you feel most grounded, most connected to the earth, most easily extending up through the spine. And just drop your awareness into your legs, into the bones of your legs, your ankles meeting the floor, the sides of your feet maybe. Noticing the parts of your legs that are meeting the floor. Having a sense of weightiness in the lower body. Our foundation. And then from that weightiness, the weightiness of the pelvis and the legs, it's like we're pushing down through the pelvis and feeling the spine ascend up through the crown of the head. Bring the shoulders up to the ears and just draw them back so the shoulder blades come together, and push them down, keeping the shoulder blades moving together. And then just let the hands settle again, but trying to keep that sense of open chest here. Slightly drawing the chin in to extend the back of the neck. And then finally, just awareness in the belly. Just check you're not overarching in the lower back. Just have the most delicate sense of deep core connection here. Nothing big, but just a sense of being connected to those deep muscles within you that are stabilizing the spine here. So maybe there's a sense of drawing the lower belly muscle fibers back slightly towards the spine, but nothing big. And even though we're connecting to our core slightly here, just for a moment, just drop your awareness into your belly and just notice and almost accentuate the movement of the belly with breath. So inhaling, expanding the belly. And exhale, feeling it draw in more towards that core connection. And just notice, can you retain core connection even on the inhale as you allow the belly to expand? It's very subtle. And you even have a sense of mula bandha here, or gentlest activation of your pelvic floor without losing that weightiness, that connectedness of the legs, the pelvis to the floor. Check, there's a gap between the teeth, the jaw is released, and the face is smooth. We feel relaxed. And if you haven't already, deepening the breath, you might want to focus more on thoracic breathing now rather than belly breathing, drawing the breath up from the belly into the ribs and the chest. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Slow, deep breaths. Really being present. Present with your body, present with your breath. And let's just complete this tuning in by bringing the palms together at the center of the chest. You can keep the eyes closed if they're closed for a little bit longer. I'm just thinking this may or may not be your first practice class of 2024, but just, it feels to me like we're opening the 2024 practice space. So just bring in a positive intention for the year ahead, and it might just be a word. Maybe there's just one word that comes to mind right now that you would like to embody or bring into your life in 2024, amongst other things, but just what is really alive and current for you in this moment. And if there's no word, just sending positive vibes, positive intentions. And an intention to harness the fruits of our yoga practice to support this, support ourselves. I'm just holding that feeling. And then releasing it. So we're going to release the hands to the ground and start to stretch into the glutes. So just start to take a walk forwards with your hands, keeping the pelvis on the floor, keeping the back edge of the pelvis down, so maybe pushing through the hands. If you come into lotus or siddhasana, heel on top of heel, maybe uncross the ankles at this point, or come into a more easeful version. Check it feels okay in your knees. And just drop the head and see if you can just feel the lines of stretch in this posture that travel through the back, the skin of the back, down the base of the back, and how the back merges with the glutes, the buttocks. This stretchy feeling, if you can really tune in. There's no separation. We're stretching the back, we're stretching the glutes. And at the end of your exhale, just walking the hands back in again. And bring the hands behind you. And just lean into the hands and lift the chest. And just take that front body open, and you can keep the chin all the way in or slightly lift the chest. The chin. And then there's an option. This is totally optional, to lift the hips. This is going to start to get into the glutes. Anytime we're lifting the back body away from the floor, we're activating the muscles in the back of the body, including the glutes. So you can emphasize that. You can squeeze the buttocks and release the buttocks down if you lifted them. Walk the hands back in, return to vertical here. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees, so you can just come straight over or bring the legs around the side. And we're going to just come straight into child's pose, another stretch of the glutes. So keep the knees together for this one. And just take classic balasana, knees together, feet together, take the hands back towards the feet with the palms up. Just let the shoulders drop, forehead on the floor or a support. And again, just see if you can really tune in to the lines of stretch in your back and down through the lower back into the glutes here. And to the back of the legs even, upper legs. Slow, deep breath. And then when you're ready, just lifting the head, taking the hands forward, coming into tabletop, bringing the knees hip distance apart, spreading the fingers, so active hands. And let's cat-cow. So inhale into the cow, lifting the tailbone, belly dropping, chest and chin lift, and exhale into the cat. Really kind of squeeze those glutes, those buttocks to emphasize what we're doing here. Inhaling back into the cow, feeling that as a stretch in the front body. And just keep that going with your breath. I'm going to add the legs in a moment. Just really feel the spine undulating with your breath. And at the end of your next exhale, just come to a neutral spine. Lift the lower belly up towards the spine and extend the right leg out behind you. So now, again, we're using the glutes and the back of the leg muscles to lift that right leg. If you want to add the left arm, you're very welcome. Come into that diagonal stretch here. Pressing back through the right heel, forward through the left fingertips. Trying not to hammock and collapse the body in the center. Trying to keep lifting the core up towards the spine, the ribs up towards the spine, and exhale, release. And the other side, just when you're ready, starting with the leg, lift the left leg up, feel, really push through the left heel, lift the lower belly, and maybe add the right arm. So fingertips to heel if we're using arm and leg, and it's all kind of the linchpin is the deep core, lifting it up, not sagging the belly if we can. And then release. And we're just going to move with the breath. This is a real glute sequence. It's a bit of you're going to feel it as heat. So just do what you can. We'll aim for 4 rounds each side, but stop if you need to. And if you need to come onto your elbows because of your wrists, that's fine too. So we'll just go for it. We're going to inhale, bring the left knee out to the left in line with the hip. And as you exhale, you extend the leg and push through the heel, but don't lower the foot. Inhale, heel comes back to the buttock. Exhale, we lower the knee, but it doesn't touch the floor. Inhale, we extend it out behind us and look up. Exhale, we bring the head to the knee underneath us. That's 1 round, just lower the knee. Inhale, knee out to the side, out to the left. Exhale, straighten the left leg, push through the heel. Inhale, heel to buttock, try not to lower the knee. Exhale, lower the knee. Inhale, stretch it out behind you, look up. Exhale, head to knee underneath you. 2 more if you can. Inhale, lifting the knee, hip to hip height. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale, heel to buttock. Exhale, lower the knee. Inhale, extend and point the foot behind you, look up. Exhale, head to knee underneath you. And release. Last one if you can. Inhale, knee lifts to the side. Exhale, extend and try not to lower the foot or knee. Inhale, heel to buttock. Exhale, lowering the knee. Inhale, extend, look up. Exhale, head to knee underneath you. And release. And just between sides, we'll just do a couple of breaths, 2 or 3 breaths in child's pose, just to stretch out what we've just heated up. Maybe with a little side to side movement here. We're not going to stay here long. And then back up for the other side. So coming up, setting yourself up. Try to stay connected to the core as well. When we're working with lower back, we want to keep awareness in the core. So inhale, right knee out in line with the right hip. Exhale, extend that leg, push through the heel. Inhale, heel to buttock. Exhale, lower the knee. Inhale, extend the leg behind you, look up. Exhale, head to knee underneath, and release the knee down. Inhale, knee up to the side. Exhale, extend, push through the heel. Inhale, with the foot flexed, heel to buttock. Exhale, lowering the knee. Really good, everyone. Inhale, lift the leg up behind, look up. Exhale, head to knee. And release. 2 more. Inhale, knee lifts out to the side. Exhale, extend. Inhale, kicking the buttock with the heel or trying to, and releasing as you exhale. Inhale, extend the leg behind you, look up. Exhale, head to knee. Lowering the knee. Last round. Inhale out to the side. Exhale, extend. Inhale, heel to buttock. Try not to lower the knee. Exhale, lowering the knee to the floor. Inhale, extend, look up. Exhale, head to knee underneath you. Release the knee down and take a child's pose. Just again, for a few breaths here. Just because we're going from the contraction to the extension, the stretching the buttocks. Breathe into the lower back. See if you can breathe into the buttocks, because it's all connected. And then slowly coming up to kneel. We're going to come down onto our backs just for a couple more little exercises like this before we start to flow. So come to lie on your back and bring your heels in towards your buttocks. So as if we were setting up for bridge. So we're kind of going to do bridge, but bridge pulses. And if possible, let's see, let's aim for 20 and stop whenever you need. And you can always take a break and come back in. Okay, so we're just going to pulse up and down. So have your hands by your sides and then inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower, but the buttocks don't touch or they just skim the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Just keep that going. You can count yourself. Try to move with the breath. I'll let you know when I get to 10 and then 15 and then 20. And you can stop at any time. When you come up to the top, at the top of the inhale, really squeeze those buttocks. Give it an extra squeeze. Notice how we're working the buttocks, but you're also going to be feeling this in the lower back. This is really good for strengthening lower back and buttocks. Okay, I am at 10, so halfway. We're doing the full 20. Feel your body, know your limits. Don't be proud or, don't just listen to your body. Know that your body's guiding you to your capacity. So if it's 10, then just rest. And keeping going, squeezing it up. So I'm now on 15, so you could stop now, or we could go for 5 more. Or if you're going faster than me, that's fine. Just stop when you get to your limit. We want to go as long enough so that we feel that heat. Heat in the buttocks, heat in the lower back, heat in the thighs. And I've done 20, so I'm coming down nice and slowly, lowering the spine. Just taking a moment and then bringing the knees into the chest. So when you feel ready, you might just want to let the legs totally rest for a moment, but when you feel ready, just giving the knees a hug, which is kind of a bit like child's pose on our back. So again, stretching into the lower back and the glutes. Just breathing into that stretch. You'll probably notice the heart rates come up a bit as well. It's normal. Building heat. And let's change this to happy baby. See how that feels in the glutes. Holding the outer edges of the feet or the ankles or the legs. Taking some breaths. You feel like you want to straighten one leg or both legs, and feel free. Just feel what's the most nourishing kind of counter stretch for the work. And then finally, we'll just counter with a twist. So bring the feet down to the floor, just press through the feet and take the hips over to the left a couple of centimeters. And we're going to bring the knees over to the right. But if possible, you're going to see if you can slide that left knee forward so that the left knee is in alignment with the right knee. And that's probably going to mean your left arm's kind of dangling. It's not going to reach the floor. So you can maybe reach it overhead, or you can just rest it on your side, or whatever you can do with that left hand. We're just doing a slightly different focus here. So you should have your right and left knee kind of flush in line with each other. For most of us, that's going to be pushing that left leg forward a little bit. And then just allow the left knee to slide back to where it wants to be. You can slide your left arm out as usual and look over your left shoulder. Just notice which of these two variations gives you the better stretch around the glutes, especially in the lower back. And then drawing the lower belly in, rolling back to the center. Just checking you're in central alignment here, heels to the buttocks again, lift the hips, scoot them over to the right a couple of centimeters, knees come over to the left, and then just look at your knees, and you have to kind of push the right leg, upper leg forward until the knees are in alignment. So it's different from how we usually do it. The right arm is just kind of find a place for it to be. It's a bit of an awkward dangle. And just really tune in to how this variation stretches the lower back, outer glutes. If you have unstable sacroiliac joints, this one might be better for you. And again, just allow that right leg to slide back to where it kind of naturally wants to be. Allow the right arm to extend. So we just get the more passive version here for a moment, looking over the right shoulder maybe. And again, just observing where you feel this, how it feels in your body compared to the other version. Right, and then drawing the lower belly in, rolling back to the center. We're going to meet in downward dog, so just take your time, find your way to downward dog. And when you get there, you might just want to walk it out a little bit, maybe even moving the hips side to side to feel this in the lower back and the hips, or you might just want to come straight in. But eventually sinking both heels towards the floor, and just really take that moment to find the foundations here, to spread the fingertips dynamically, to spread the toes, to firm the thighs, to lift the lower belly up to the spine, bending the knees if you need, and just really connecting with the breath. Such a good posture for stretching the glutes and the lower back when we get open enough to feel it as a stretch. Might not feel like that yet. And then from here, look forward. We're going to bring the left foot forward. So you might need to come onto your knees and bring it or step it forward. So we want left knee above ankle. So we're going to be doing quite a lot of this position today, this lunging position. We're on the ball of the back foot. If you want to use blocks, that's fine. So just taking the low lunge posture here, crown of the head reaching forward, right heel drawing back, lower belly lifting up towards the ceiling, towards the spine, sorry. And then we're going to have the right hand underneath the right shoulder. You can take left hand to left glute or raise it up towards the ceiling and come into a twist here. So use a block under that right hand. Really firm up the back leg and the back glute, the right buttock muscles, glute muscles. Switched on. Exhale, release that left hand down. And just step the back foot in a little bit. So the right foot comes closer towards the left foot and just take that forward fold over the front shin here. So again, you might need blocks under the hands or you might need your hands on that front shin. So Parsvottanasana, we're going to revisit this posture because it's so good for stretching and opening the glutes. And then releasing the hands down, just step that right foot back. And then you have a choice. You can come straight back to downward dog, or we can come to the plank and exhale, lower down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. So take the vinyasa if that's good for you. Otherwise, take a rest in child's pose or me stay in downward dog. Take a full breath in downward dog or two. And then when you're ready, stepping the right foot forward between the hands into the low lunge. So right knee above right ankle on the ball of the left foot. Firm that left leg. Squeeze the left buttock. Crown of the head extending forward. Lift the lower belly up to the spine. Left hand underneath the left shoulder. Use a block if you wish. And then reach the right hand up. Or right hand on hip. And exhale, release the right hand down. And again, see if you can step that left foot in a little bit. So narrow the stance. Left toes point in front of left heel, slightly on the back foot. Right toes point forward and we fold over the front shin, maybe bringing our hands onto the shin or onto blocks if we need. I'm going to turn more gases running in. Feeling this as a stretch of the glutes, like we want to be squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. And then planting the hands, just stepping that left foot back a little bit again. And again, straight to downward dog or child's pose or moving through the plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. Every time we do upward dog, we squeeze the buttocks, we tone the buttocks. Every time we do downward dog, we stretch them. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump feet to the hands and underneath the hips. So we're in a forward fold. So feet hip distance and parallel. You can take your first two fingers and thumb around the big toe, or you can hold your opposite elbow. Whatever you want to do here, you can hold the back of the ankles. Just taking a forward fold of your choice, knees bent if helpful. And again, feel it as the stretch and the hinge of the body, where the buttocks meet the back. And then just take the hands out in front of the feet. Walk the feet about mat distance apart with the toes out. Probably for most of us, drop the hips into Malasana. If that's not for you, just rest the elbows on the thighs and don't come all the way down. Otherwise, lifting up through the spine, opening the chest forward. And then we're just going to kind of reverse that. So bring the hands down again. Walk, stay kind of low and walk the feet back to where they were. So we're in a kind of a crouch here, but the feet hip distance and parallel. And then use the strength of your legs to push back up. Return to the forward fold. Bring the hands to the hips. Take a little bend in the knees and push yourself all the way up to stand. Okay, come to the front of your mat if you're not already there. My screen right. Okay. So we're going to flow a little bit and we'll put lots of lunges in today. Okay, really get the fire before we stretch it out. So standing in Tadasana, chest nice and open, firm legs, open, connected feet. Inhale, raising the hands, looking up. Exhale, forward fold. Feel that stretch in the back of the body. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, this time step the left foot back first, back into that lunge position. So bending the right knee. We're going to inhale up to the high lunge. So we're on the ball of the back foot. Right knee is above or behind right ankle. Squeeze the left buttock so the back leg is firm and drop the tailbone. Feel that stretch on the inner left thigh, the psoas, the hip. But we're squeezing, squeezing, squeezing the buttock. And then on your exhale, just take the hands forward slightly. So we're drawing a line from your left heel to your fingertips. You're going to really feel this in the front thigh, front glutes here. And switching the attention to the front leg. Great, and then bring the hands down. Your choice, step back to downward dog or move through plank. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let's take a breath. And at the end of your exhale, look forward, step or bring the left foot between the hands on the ball of the back foot, knee above ankle or slightly behind, and inhale up, high lunge. That's always a tricky transition. It's a balance, so don't worry if you wobble, it's normal. When we get there, squeeze that back buttock, firm the back thigh, drop the tailbone, draw the lower belly in, reach up through the fingertips, chest nice and open. Exhale, take the weight forward so your kind of lower ribs are meeting the upper thigh and you're drawing a line from right heel to the fingertips. Keep drawing the belly in. Feel the weight now in the front, glutes and leg, pressing through the left heel. And exhale, release the hands down. And again, downward dog, or we flow through our vinyasa with the breath. Listen to your body, listen to your energy levels. Meeting in downward dog, stretching out that lower back, drawing the navel in. So really, to strengthen the lower back, we want to be keeping this core awareness, deep core awareness. And at the end of your exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale to look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise the hands. Look up. Exhale, hands to the side. Okay, so we're going to have 2 more rounds here. So inhaling, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen the spine. Exhale, this time right foot comes back first, but we're going to plant the right foot on the floor with the toes in front of the heels. Bend the front leg. Inhale up to warrior 1. You might need to slightly move the left foot out to the left if you feel wobbly here. So press out through the little toe edge of the back foot. Palms touch above the head if available. And if your balance allows, look up to your hands, otherwise forward. So slightly different now. If there's any pain in your right knee, you could always come back to the high lunge on the ball of the foot. We're going to take humble warrior. So keep the bend on the front leg, bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers and inhale, lift the hands up, feel that lovely stretch across the front of the chest. And then exhale, tip the weight forward to the inside of the front leg and the hands come up, maybe forward if you're more open, definitely away from the back. And then swing your left buttock towards the center line because it's probably gone out to the left here. Press actively through the back leg, the back foot. Inhale, look up, extend through the crown of the head. Release the hands down. Downward dog, child's pose, or vinyasa. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Pausing for a couple of breaths between sides. Remember, child's pose is there for you if your wrists hurt. Okay, and the other side. So when you're ready, at the end of your exhale, look forward and bring your, is it left foot or is it right foot? The opposite foot forward. And oh yeah, right foot forward. Spin the back foot. And then inhale with that bend on the front leg. Inhale your way up to warrior 1 on the other side. Pressing through the little toe edge of the back foot. Hips facing forward, looking up to your palms if you can. Deep breaths. And then exhale, release the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Other way, if you can, have a little finger on the outside, if you can work that out. Inhale, lift the hands, just enjoy that stretch. And then exhale, bringing the head forward to the inside of the right leg, arms up and over. And again, just check in with your right buttock. It always happens for me as I come forward, the right buttock swings out to the right. So we just bring it back towards the center line a tiny bit. Keep the alignment and you'll feel it stronger in the buttock. And then inhale, lifting the head, stretching the crown of the head forward, knuckles backwards. Release the hands down, downward dog, child's pose, or again, move through the vinyasa sequence with the breath, feeling it, both working and stretching the back of the body. Coming to downward dog, couple of breaths, this neutral posture for the spine. Deep breath into the back. And at the end of that exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, fold into the shins. Inhale, raising the hands, reach and stretch. Exhale, hands to the side. Take a moment. One more lungy round. Okay, inhale, take it up, palms touch, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. This time we're going to jump or step back to the plank. Inhale in the plank or tabletop. Exhale, lower, using the knees if you wish. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward. And then from here, we're going to turn the left foot out. So toes point out. So the toes are in front of the heel and step that right foot forward. So come into this another way if you need. And we're going to come up to warrior two. So basically find your way up to warrior two. So this is where we are now with the hips open to the long edge of the mat. And the right knee is above or slightly behind the right ankle. So different things going on in the buttocks now. There's more of a hip opening going on as well as the strengthening, but definitely the strengthening too. Look over your middle right finger. Don't forget your left arm, your left fingertips reaching backwards. And then inhale to straighten the right leg, turn the right toes in. So we're now feet parallel facing the long edge of the mat. Hands on the hips, inhale, look up, exhale, forward fold. So we come into more of a stretch here. Releasing the hands to the floor, dropping the crown of the head towards the floor. Stretching it out. And then inhale, walk the hands forward so you can straighten the arms and look up, so your torso is kind of parallel to the floor. We're going to turn that right foot back out to where it was. So back into kind of warrior two legs. Bend the right knee and walk the hands to, let's say, 45 degrees between the right foot and the back foot. So where we were just now was kind of halfway, 90 degrees. So halfway between there and the direction that your right foot's pointing. So I hope that makes some kind of sense from what I can see. You're doing it good. And drop the head between the upper arms. So it's like we're in downward dog shape in our upper body and warrior two legs in our lower body. And you're probably, if we spend a couple more breaths here, you're probably going to really start to feel that around the right glute. This is a real heat builder for me. One more breath if you can. And then just walk the hands back slightly towards you and continue going to the right until you're facing the right foot again. Come onto the ball of the left foot. So we're back in the low lunge, hands framing the right foot. And then we can either come to downward dog or child's pose, or between sides, we can take that vinyasa. And this is our last one, remember. So back to downward dog. Taking a couple of breaths here, and then we turn the right heel in, toes out, and we step or bring the left foot forward between the hands, and then we lift ourselves up and kind of turn the hips to face the long edge of the mat. And you might need to just rearrange the spacing of your feet to make sure your left knee is above your left ankle or behind. You're pressing through the little toe edge of that back foot. We're looking forward, over the middle left finger. Shoulders drawing down away from the ears. Shoulder blades drawing together. Connect to your core to help support the lower back here. Breathe deep. One more breath. And then straighten the left leg. Turn the toes in. This time to bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers again, and inhale, lift the hands up, knuckles pointing backwards. Exhale, forward fold, bringing the hands up or over. If this is too much for you, just do the same one we just did with the hands on the floor. And then bring your hands to your lower back, release the bind, bring the hands to the floor, press through the hands and walk them forwards again so that you can straighten the arms and have your torso kind of parallel to the floor more or less. And then we're going to turn that left foot all the way out so it's pointing towards the front of the mat again, making sure the right toes are slightly in front of the right heel and the back leg. And then we walk into that 45-degree. So we've got that angle where we just were, that's 90 degrees straight out, halfway between that and the direction of your left foot. Reach the fingertips as far forward as they'll go. So we're kind of in downward dog shape in our upper body, releasing the head between the upper arms. Check you've still got a nice deep bend on that left leg. You might need to bring the right foot in a little bit to make sure that's possible. And we're just pausing for enough breath so that we really feel the heat start to build in that left glute. This is really strong stretch for you. You can always put your hands on blocks. One more breath if you can. Great for building strength in the thighs and the buttocks here. And then continue your journey to the left until you're framing the left foot with your hands facing the left leg, and we're back in that low lunge position. And then child's pose, downward dog, or the last time we take our vinyasa. Coming back to downward dog, couple of breaths. And then we will just all come down to child's pose because it's such a nice stretch for the lower back and glutes. You can take the knees together or you can take knees wide, up to you. You'll get the stretch either way, just slightly differently. Sinking the hips onto the heels, maybe bending the arms and resting the forehead on the arms or on the floor behind the arms, whatever you want to do, or take the hands back towards the feet. And just enjoying that stretch for a moment. And then from here, we're going to come back up and we're just going to do one more standing posture, more of a stretching posture before we come into some nice stretches. So for the last time, we're just going to take downward dog and we're going to step the right foot forward and bring the left foot in a little bit. So it's not a big stance. There's not a big distance between your feet here. You want your heels in line or take the right foot slightly further out to the right. Left toes in front of heels. We've been here already. We're in Parsvottanasana. You might want to use your blocks either side of that front foot or hands on shin. Otherwise, we're just going to really just spend a few breaths here, finding the benefits of the stretch and the release for the glutes. Feel like you're squeezing a block between your thighs, your upper thighs, or scissoring the legs as if the right foot was trying to move backwards and the left foot was trying to move forwards, or the left hip to square the hips. And feel that release, especially around the front right glute. If you're quite open, you can take your hands, palms up, backwards towards the back foot, kind of monkey arms as I'm showing here. Couple more breaths. And then we're just going to, we're not going to vinyasa, we're just going to slightly bend the front leg, step back to downward dog for a moment. So probably walking both feet back a little bit because we step the back foot in. And then when you're ready, looking forward, step or bring the left foot between the hands. And again, just step that right foot forward a little bit. to narrow the distance between your heels. Heels in line or left foot to foot's width further to the left to help you square the hips squared to the front here. Drop the head, use your blocks or hands on shin if you need. And again, see if you can feel this sense of like your squeeze, like your left foot's trying to drive backwards and your right foot's trying to drive forwards, but they're not moving. And maybe you can visualize a block between your upper thighs that you're just squeezing, this sense of adduction. Really dropping the head, almost looking up towards your navel so that we really get that stretch along the back of the body. Drawing the lower belly up towards the spine. Again, those more open could be in the, I'm going to call it the monkey arms, palms up, hands reaching towards the back foot. One more breath. And then a slight bend in the front leg, planting the hands back down. Last time back to downward dog. And we're going to come into some seated stretches now. So just let's finish this vinyasa actually. From downward dog, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the hands, reach and stretch. And exhale, hands to the side. Just take a moment, feel the effects of the practice on your body, your breath, your heart rate. Slowing the breath down, maybe closing your eyes. Okay, we're going to see if we can come down, not via Malasana squat, but via a legs together squat. So if this doesn't work for you, just meet us on the ground, coming down to seated eventually. But otherwise, from Tadasana with the feet pretty much together, I'm going to inhale, stretch the arms up towards the ceiling. Try to keep alignment here, so try not to kind of lean backwards. It's going to make it easier with the ear, the shoulder, the hip and the ankle more or less in line. We're going to inhale, come up onto the toes, so the balls of the feet. Try to stay connected to your core to stop you bananaing in the center, to keep the alignment, drawing the lower belly in. And then keep the inner knees either touching or very close to each other. And we're going to keep the heels lifted and try to keep the upper body upright as we slowly sink the hips. When you get to that bit that you really want to rush through, try not to rush. Try to keep the pace even until the hips, buttocks sink onto the heels. If this doesn't work, as I say, just come to the floor. But otherwise, we end up in this squat with the buttocks resting on the heels are lifted, and the hands just rest on the thighs, or you can bring the hands together at the center of the chest, palms touching. Try to keep the inner knees touching or very close. You'll feel it's a tricky little balance. And then some of you might be able to, you probably need to reach the hands forward to do this. You might be able to lean all the way forwards and bring the heels to touch. And you might at that point just collapse all the way down, and that's fine. But if you can, pause for a moment in this little squat, and then with some core control, come down. Okay, so do what you can there, and we'll meet. Well done. So we're just going to do some releasing forward folds, and then we'll come into some more real glute focus stretches. So just simple Paschimottanasana to begin with. Sit up on a block if you wish. Just starting in Dandasana, so squaring off the soles of the feet, drawing the chin in, fingertips lightly resting on the floor either side of the hips, scooping the lower belly and up, legs active. So the more active we can be on the front of the legs, in the front body, the core, the more we're going to get this stretch on the back body. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, come forward. So just let the hands meet, whatever they meet, the feet, the legs, and drop the head and almost looking back towards your navel. So again, we really get that full line of stretch on the back body. And again, see if you can feel it this time, maybe running from the crown of your head, down the back of the head, all the way down the upper back, the mid back, the lower back, and into the glutes. Stretching. Keep the legs alive, the front of the thighs active, the feet flex, the core engaged, so drawing the lower belly back. This is all going to help deepen the stretch on the back of the body. Shoulders relaxed, face relaxed. Slow, deep breaths. Paschimottanasana. I'm going to stay a little bit longer, so if you need to come out, do, but otherwise, if there's space to develop the stretch a little bit more, just explore that. So maybe you've been holding onto your shins and maybe you can creep the fingers forward a centimetre. Maybe you've been holding the big toes and you can move to hold the little toe edges. Just see if you can perhaps deepen into the posture. If there's space, we're not forcing, we're just listening to our body, because sometimes our edge shifts when we've been here a bit longer. Space is open. Couple more breaths, releasing the jaw, no straining. And then at the end of your exhale, bringing yourself back up. And we're going to cross, we're going to bend, slide the right heel in to bend the right knee and cross the right foot, if available, to the outside of the left knee. So now we're starting to get into you'll feel this in the outer right glute. I'm just going to change mats. Okay, so if we can, we try to keep the left leg alive, and if we can, we really try to seal the big right toe, the big toe on the right foot down to touch the floor. This is going to help us find this line of stretch down the outside of the right buttock. And then have your right hand as your prop behind you. Inhale, stretch up through the left side. Exhale, twist from the lower back, from the navel towards your bent thigh, so towards the right. And then you can bring your left elbow to the outside of the right knee or hug the knee and look over your right shoulder. Again, can you press the right big toe down? It's tricky. It seals the line of stretch. Some of you might find a bind here, holding, drawing that left arm through, the left arm hand through the gap underneath the right arm. Don't force. Noticing the stretch on the outer right hip and thigh and buttock. And at the end of your next exhale, unwind, come back to the center. Just take a moment. So we're going to do a sequence here and it's going to build up each time. So when you get to your limit, you're just going to repeat that one as many times as you need. So it might be that you're just going to repeat what we just did. So otherwise, if we can, we're going to lean to the left and bend the left knee and see if we can bring the left heel to the outside of the right buttock. So you're not sat on the heel. It could be helpful to sit on a block, a low block at this point. And if you can do this with the left foot, but you have to unhook the right knee, the right foot, and bring it to the inside, the other side of the left knee, that's fine. Do what you need here. And again, we're going to twist. So right hand behind you, inhale, stretch up, exhale, twist from the navel. Same, you can hug the knee, you can press the elbow to the outer knee, or again, you can find a bind if it's there for you. Looking over the right shoulder. And if this is too much for you, repeat what we just did. That left leg extended in front of you. Try to lift up through the spine, drop down through the pelvis, release the tailbone and the pelvis to the earth, and feel the spine ascend away, like we did at the start in a seated meditation, seated tuning. And at the end of your exhale, unwind gently back to the center. And again, we're going to go one more. So you can repeat what we just did. You can go back to the first one, or if it's available, Bhurmukasana. So at this stage, we're walking, those of us who can, we're walking the right foot back towards the outside of the left hip, or we just slightly start that journey, move the right foot back a little bit, the knee might still be lifted. If you're quite tightly in Bhurmukasana, a nice little tip that I always do is take the hands down, lift the hips, really squeeze the inner thighs together and sit back down again so that you're really like glued in to the center. Okay, that's just my little technique. If the soles of the feet are available for you, touch the soles with the palms, otherwise fingertips on the floor. If you're going back into one of the previous ones, take your twist. Those in Gormakasana, we can add the arms if you wish. Taking the left arm up, dropping the fingertips down the spine, either staying here, using the right hand to deepen that on the front of the elbow, or right hand behind you, find the bind. Opening the armpit forward, drawing the lower belly in, releasing the pelvis down, everybody, lifting up through the spine and the crown of the head. Lower belly gently tucking in. Couple more breaths. For the last couple of breaths, if you wish to, if you're in Gormakasana, if you wish to lean forward, maybe even hook the chin on the knee, you're welcome. And then if you've folded forward, coming back up. If you're in a twist, at the end of your exhale, gently unwind. Those in Gormakasana, releasing the arms. We might revisit these arms so that everybody gets a chance to do it, but we can do that afterwards. Okay, so other side. So just taking the hands back, unraveling from whatever knot you've tied yourself in here, massaging the knees if you need. And we'll go to the other side. So extending the right leg, remembering move all the way through this first posture. We want to keep this right leg active, the right foot flexed, and we cross the left foot to the outside of the knee. And, you know, sometimes I use my hand because it can be, for me, it can be hard to feel that connection between the big toe of the left foot and the floor. So you can just press to help. And then left hand behind you, inhale, stretch up, exhale, twist from the navel. Hugging the knee, pressing the elbow, or find the bind. Looking over your left shoulder. Trying to find that sense of rooting down, pressing down actively through the pelvis and the tailbone, and feeling the rebound lift up the spine at the crown of the head. And at the end of your exhale, unwind back to the center. And then repeat that, or we lean to the right, we bend the right knee, and we bring the right foot to the outside of the left hip. And at this point, we might need to change the position of that left foot, but we're keeping the knee high. Your left hand behind you. Inhale, stretch up, keep trying to press the left big toe down. Find your version here, hugging the knee, pressing the elbow, taking the bind. Really see if you can press down through the pelvis and lift up through the lower back, up through the mid back, upper back, crown of the head, sides of the neck long. Feel this sense of rooting down and growing from the roots up through the spine. And exhale, release. Take a moment. You'll know in your body what you need to do next, whether it's repeat or go back to the first one, or Gormakasana. Start to walk the left foot back as far as it will go. Maybe that little tip lifting up, squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, settling back down. Palms touch soles of the feet if available, or hands to the floor. The lower belly drawing in. Twisting if you're twisting. And then maybe Gormakasana arms, lifting that right arm, fingertips down the spine, left fingertips up the spine, or on the front of the right elbow. Optional. Really opening that right armpit forward, drawing the lower belly in. And for the last few breaths, maybe coming forward if you're in Gormakasana. Optional. Bringing the chin towards the knees for a couple of breaths. And if you've come forward, bringing yourself up, releasing if you're twisting at the end of the exhale, coming forward, unraveling yourself, taking the hands back, massage on the knees if you need, bringing some life back, and check the time. Okay, so we'll just do one more stretch. We can't really do a glutes class without visiting the pigeon. So if the pigeon's not for you, you can thread the needle on your back, which we're going to do anyway. Otherwise, we've got the pigeon. Get your blocks handy if you know you're going to need them underneath the hip. So you can come into pigeon from downward dog or just simply from tabletop, make it simpler. So from either downward dog or tabletop, we're going to slide the right knee forward behind the right wrist, keeping that left toe tucked under. We kind of walk the left hip and the left leg back as far as it will go. Pad yourself underneath that right hip with a blanket, with a bolster, with a block if you need. And when you're ready, start to walk forwards with the hands. We want to support the head in something if we can. So maybe it's the head in the hands, maybe the hand rests on a block, the arms, the floor. See if you can keep the right foot flexed to protect the knee joint. This can be tricky for some of us, but just explore that. So it's more like your little toe edge of your right foot's connecting with the floor. And your left leg is like your anchor. So we want to keep some awareness here. We're anchoring down through the top of the left foot, seeing if we can get as many of our toenails on the floor as possible. You might not feel the little toenail down, but we're kind of pressing down through the whole of the top of the foot because it's going to help us stay anchored. And you're really going to feel this in the right glute, I imagine, maybe in the inner thigh, maybe in the back, just noticing where you're feeling this stretch and then really breathing space into that part of the body. And again, noticing how you can't really separate the glutes and the back. That's why it was such a great theme that was offered this evening, because they merge together. So notice that in how you're feeling this in the posture. And then at the end of your next exhale, lifting the gaze, walking the hands back in, tucking the back toe under. And you can come straight back to downward dog from here, or you can just slide the right knee back to tabletop and then extend the right leg back behind you on the ball of the foot. Or we could be in downward dog. So either of those or both of those, just to release and open the back of the right knee. And then bring yourself back to downward dog or tabletop for the other side. So sliding that left knee forward behind the left wrist, shin in front of the body. See if at this point you can maybe start to flex the left foot, tuck the right toe under and walk the right hip back onto the top of the right foot. Walk the hands forward. Obviously listening to that left knee. If you need to pad the left hip, do, and if it's too much to come forward, then just stay upright and modify for your body. Support the head. Trying to flex the left foot. I know it can feel a bit awkward to begin with, but it's better for the knee. And again, just really feeling into your right leg, your anchor here, pressing down through the top of the foot, trying to connect as many toenails as possible to the floor. And feeling that just gentle activation, the right leg and extension should feel quite extended and active. Relax the belly and the shoulders and the face. Breathe space into the openings that you are feeling in your body. And at the end of your next exhale, lifting the gaze, walking the hands back in, tucking the back toe, And again, slide that left knee back and all the way out behind you on the ball of the foot to open the back of the knee or take a downward dog. And when you feel ready, bringing the knees back down from downward dog, we're going to come onto our backs. So just gradually, gently, mindfully make your way onto your back. I'm going to revisit the bridge. We've already worked the glutes with the pulses at the start. We're just going to do one and use it to, again, feel how this really works the back of the body, the back and the buttocks and the front of the thighs. Okay, so obviously it's a big chest opening, but we're focusing more on the effects on the lower body. So heels into the buttocks, hip distance apart, palms down. Inhale, lift the hips, and again, get as high up as you can, and then give the buttocks an extra squeeze. Sometimes I say, most of the time, in fact, I say release the buttocks as much as you can. But because of today's focus, we're just going to use it as this butt strengthening posture and squeeze. Pretend you're squeezing a block between the thighs. Just feel how much work this is for the legs and the buttocks. And when we build enough strength in the legs and the buttocks, that's when our upper body feels safe to open. So we have to build the strength in the back, buttocks, legs, and then we can start to open the chest and the heart. So just focusing on the strength aspect. You could even bend the elbows, press the elbows down, the palms facing each other, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling, and just really kind of press down through the upper arms here. So we're really working in the upper back, the buttocks, the thighs, and then slowly release, winding the spine down, upper back to lower back. Moving the shoulders and the head back, taking the feet forward. Just let the inner knees rest against each other for a moment. Maybe place the hands on the belly. Open up the sacrum. Relax. And we're going to stretch the legs up into the air and interlace the fingers. Push the palms overhead. Flex the feet. Just breathe into the back. And then bend the knees. Bring the hands forward. Give yourself a hug. Feel this as a releasing posture, lower back, glutes. Deep breaths into the lower back. And we're just going to finish with a range of releasing postures, releasing twists and postures. So when you're ready, release the left foot to the floor and flex the right foot and take the outer right ankle onto the front of the left thigh. So thread the needle, a bit like pigeon, but on our back. Lift the left foot off the floor if that feels okay. Feed the right hand through the gap and the left hand around the outside. Hold the back of the left knee or the front of the left shin. I know I promised we'd do Gormakasana arms again, but I'm not sure we're going to have time. Apologies. We'll do it next time. Breathing into right buttock, right lower back. And then release the left foot back to the floor. Hold the shape. Let the left leg drop out to the left while still pressing the right ankle into the left thigh until the sole of the right foot meets the floor and the right knee points up to the ceiling. Extend your right arm away from the right shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. And maybe press the right knee away from you, but don't pull the right knee towards you. Press it away. Or just have the left hand on the floor. And then drawing the lower belly in, bring yourself back to the center. Just take the left foot onto the floor and just check you're centrally aligned through the pelvis and the spine. Lift the left foot off the floor and cross the thighs as high up the thighs as possible. So right thigh still on top of left. Some of you might be able to bend the left leg and hook the right foot behind the left calf. If not, just drop the feet and squeeze the inner thighs together. And then we're going to take the left foot down to the floor, scoot the hips over to the right a couple of centimeters and bring the knees over to the left. So you might be in the full wrapped legs here, Garudasana eagle legs, or you've just got the thighs crossed. But squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Extend the right arm again, look over the right shoulder. So we're back in a twist in the same direction we just went, but now moving more into the glutes, lower back, stretch. And then again, connecting to your core, roll back to the center, press through the left foot on the floor to bring yourself back to central alignment. Keep the knee thighs crossed and lift the feet. And see, this may or may not be possible. See if you can reach the little toe edge of your feet. So you'll have to let the feet drop down towards the hips. Find the little toe edges. If you find them, you're then going to lift the feet up again. And it's like you're pressing the feet into the hands actively, and you're pulling the feet away from each other with the hands. So there's a bit of like push and pull going on between the hands and the feet. And at the same time, see if you can press the sacrum in the lowest part of the spine down towards the floor. This may not be available, just hug the knees into the chest, if not. And then release, let the feet go, uncross the thighs. Just take a moment, check you're centrally aligned. And then we're gonna take the left ankle onto the front of the right thigh, pick up the right foot, take the hand through the gap, find that, thread the needle on the other side. We might run over a few minutes, I'm really sorry. Time to run away with me, the excitement of all the glute stretches. Okay, so after the end of your next exhale, release the right foot back down to the floor. Keep the shape, press the left ankle into the right thigh, let the left foot come out to the left. The left knee is pointing up to the ceiling. Look over your left shoulder, extending that left arm away. And then find your core. Inhale your way back to the center. Cross the thigh, so left thigh on top of right thigh. Maybe find the foot hook around the back of the right calf. Right foot presses down onto the floor, and you scoot the hips over to the left a few centimeters. Bring the knees over to the right. Extend your left arm away. Look over the left shoulder. If you haven't got the foot hook, that's fine. Just thighs across. Relax the jaw, deepen the breath, especially long, full exhales. And then drawing the lower belly in, rolling back to the center, pressing through the right foot to scoot the hips to what feels like the center. Unhook the foot if you're on the foot hook, relaxing the heels towards the outer hips. See if you can hold the little toe edges, the left thighs can still crossed. And then it's like you're pushing the top of the feet into the hands and pressing down with the hands, push, pull. And there's also a little bit of an outward pull with the hands, pulling the toes away from each other. This one isn't for you, skip it. Hug the knees into the chest. Press the sacrum down towards the floor, one more breath. So a lot of work. And then release the feet down, release the feet, uncross the legs. Maybe just one last time, hug the knees in and lift the head up to meet the knees. Give yourself a squeeze. And then Shavasana. So just releasing your body to the floor, using that bolster under the knees. It's nearly 1:15, so I would love to give you a good few minutes. So if anybody has to leave at 1:15, you've got a minute or maybe 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. But if you've got the time, then I'll bring you out in about 3 or 4 minutes' time. So just letting the feet flop out, arms away from the side, palms up. Well done. Did it. Let go of effort now and receive the fruits of your practice. Maybe just that word that popped in at the start, possibly a word to embody in this new cycle. Maybe just connecting with that word again, with that feeling. And then letting it all go, letting everything go. Relax. As always, if you have time, you can gift yourself longer in Shavasana, please do. I'd like to close with me at the end of the class, just deepening your breath. And when you feel ready to move, just starting to gently awaken the body with small movements, maybe some stretches. And returning in your own time to seated. Just bringing the palms together, just to consciously close the space, close the practice, maybe closing the eyes, bowing your head to your hands, gratitude. Gratitude for taking this time, creating this space for yourself. And when you feel complete with that, just lifting the head, opening the eyes. Thank you for sharing practice with me. Hope to see you soon. Well done.